Hi, my name's Alan Smith. In this webcast I'll run through how you can configure and deploy your Windows Azure deployment package, and so your worker roles will be contributing to the Global Render Lab. The organiser at your event should be able to provide you with the files you need to deploy the worker roles, and this consists of the Cloud Ray deployment package here and the service configuration here. So I'm going to open Notepad and I'm going to drag the configuration file into Notepad. Now these should already have been preset by your event organiser, and it should have the country where your Global Bootcamp event is located, and also the actual location for your Global Bootcamp. It's really important that these are spelt correctly and are consistent with everybody at your location, because these are used in the actual scoring of the frames rendered. So there's two bits of information we need to enter here. I'm going to enter my name, and I'm also going to enter my email. So I'm just double checking that these values are set OK, and then I'm going to click on Save to save the configuration file, and I can then exit from Notepad. So the next stage is to deploy the application to Windows Azure. I'm going to open Internet Explorer and I'm going to navigate to manage.windowsazure.com, and I'm going to sign in with my Windows Live ID. So this is my Windows Azure portal. You can see I've got quite a lot of stuff deployed here. I'm going to go to the Cloud Services and I'm going to generate a new cloud service to deploy my application. So click on the New button, make sure Cloud Service is selected, click on Quick Create, and I choose a URL. So I'm using Render Lab in my name, and this needs to be globally unique. You can see there's a green check there. If you get across there, it means somebody else has got a cloud service registered with the name that you've chosen, and you will need to change it. Now the region. I'm going to choose North Europe, the North Europe data center. All of the storage is located in North Europe that we're using for the lab, so communicating between data centers will incur charges, and that will be both on the storage accounts that the lab is using and also on the Windows Azure accounts that you're using. So to get better performance and to reduce the bandwidth between data centers, it's good if you can select North Europe. And I'm going to click this button to create the cloud service. So the cloud service took about a second to create, and it's now created and ready for me to deploy my application. So to deploy my application, I'm going to click on the cloud service that I've just created. When you're doing this for the first time, you may see a welcome screen here. If you do, just click on the dashboard link and you'll see the option to upload a production deployment. So I'm going to click this link to upload a new deployment. I'm going to give it a name. This deployment name doesn't need to be unique, and then I'm going to upload the package. So I'm going to click on this browse to upload from local storage, and I'm going to copy the path from Explorer, and then I can select the cloud deployment package, and I can also select the configuration file. Now the configuration file initially is configured to only have one instance of the worker role, so we will need to check this deploy even if one or more roles contains a single instance checkbox, and also ensure that the start deployment is checked. Once the application is deployed, we can scale up to more instances. So I'm going to click on the check button here, and it's deployed this application now. So it'll probably take between 7 and 10 minutes for the actual deployment package to deploy and start running in Windows Azure. So I've successfully deployed my application now. If I click on the instances, you can see that I do have a worker role that's running here. So my application is deployed and it's now rendering animation frames. So if we go to the website at renderlab.azurewebsites.net, we can see the statistics for the application. We can see in the testing I've been done that we've got 18 instances running with processed 666 frames, and we've had a total render time of 30 hours 43 minutes. You can also see a list of the countries and a list of the locations here. And you can see the one that I've deployed in Stockholm, Sweden has been added, hasn't rendered any frames or got any render time logged yet. You can also view the animations that people have been loading up, so clicking on one of these animations will take you to the animation page, and you can actually play the animation and see the animation that somebody else has created. This is just a low resolution test animation that I was using for testing purposes. So you can see now that Stockholm, Sweden has rendered a couple of frames, and we've got 2 minutes of render time there. So my deployment only has one instance running. We can see this in the instances section. Now if I want to scale my deployment, I can go to the scale section and I can increase the number of instances here. Now I've got a Windows Azure trial account here, which basically allows me for 6 instances. But here in this example I'll scale up to 4 instances. So if I set the scalability there and click on save, it will take about 5 minutes for these additional instances to be created and start rendering frames. Be aware of the billing aspects of this. So if you're using a trial account where you've got free usage quotas, you will be burning up your free usage by running a lot of instances. Also, if you're in a pay-as-you-go account, you will be paying to run these instances. So make sure that you only scale when you want to actually test the scalability, and always make sure that you're going to delete the deployment when the lab day has finished. So now when the scaling is complete, if I switch to the instances page, I can see that I've got 4 instances running. And you'll notice that these are split between different updomain domains and fault domains, which will give me high availability in Windows Azure. Also, going back to the web page, if I click on refresh here, you can see that Stockholm has now got 9 frames rendered, and I'm starting to catch up with the events that are running in the UK. Eventually, maybe I'll even catch up with Gothenburg. So running all of these instances is consuming resources in my Windows Azure account. So at the end of the day, when the lab is complete, it's really important to go to the dashboard and actually delete the deployment. So you can see that there's a delete button here, and what I'm going to do is to delete the production deployment for the Render Labs Alan Smith. Click on this and just click on yes to confirm. And we'll see that deletion is now taking place, and it will take a few seconds for the actual instances to be deleted. And after that you can see it's saying you have nothing deployed in the production environment. We've deleted the application and we won't be incurring any more charges.